We are coming to you from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Avi Garcia, Jose Abreu, Melky Cabrera and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Alex Rodriguez and Joe Girardi's New York Yankees. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 4-game set. If you missed the opener last night, Chris Sale pitched pretty good, but in the third inning, they only got one hit. He hit a guy, he walked a guy, and a 3-run homer by Carlos Beltran. We lost that ball game 3-2. Trace Thompson with a homer and a bases-loaded walk, both our RBIs. But tonight, a guy's going against us who has just absolutely dominated us.
Well, it's a pretty good matchup. You got a crafty veteran, and you've got a terrific youngster. And that's who goes head-to-head, the two lefties, and Carlos Rodon has been terrific this year. He's 8-6, but the one bad ball game he had was against the Yankees. He threw 3 innings. He gave up 8 runs. But the man you're looking at, Mark Teixeira, is not in the lineup. And then Carlos Rodon went head-to-head with the Angels, and he beat them twice. He's thrown great baseball lately. He's 2 games over 500, his ERA in the high 3s, but right now he looks like a top-of-the-rotation starter. CC Sabathia on the other side of the coin. The last 3 times out since he's had his new knee brace, he's thrown the ball exceptionally well. This is a guy with a world of experience, and lifetime against our Sox, he's 19-4. So let's take a look at Carlos Rodon over the last 7 starts, 4-2 with a 1.66 ERA. CC Sabathia over the last 3 starts, 1-0, hasn't given up a home run, and his ERA just over 1. So if Kraft and Guile can do it against a young, hard-throwing kid, Yankees are going to be in good shape. I like Carlos tonight.
Well, Trace Thompson, as we mentioned, with that home run and bases-loaded RBI last night, he's doing it on the big stage.
He really is, and not intimidated at all by Yankee Stadium or the fact that the Yankees are in a hunt for the wild card. Trace last night against Michael Pineda takes the ball out of the ballpark, hits it in the second deck. He also hit a line drive to center field that went a long way but stayed in the park. So he's doing a terrific job, and this guy's had 89 at-bats. You look at what he's done on the road trip, it doesn't look all that important, but 89 at-bats. He has 15 extra base hits out of his 28 total hits. He's doing just about everything right, and he can play all 3 outfield positions. He looks like a find.
All right, White Sox baseball. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. We're coming your way.
your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, and there's Alexei Ramirez making sure that the camera is all bright and shiny and the pictures are outstanding, and hopefully they'll be able to shoot a whole lot of runs, a lot more than last night. As the Yankees, although it's going to be a daunting task to try to catch Toronto, that's what they're left with. And Joe Girardi has got his team playing about as well as they can play when you consider all the injuries they've had and the fact that Mark Teixeira is lost for the year. And he gives them a very important right-handed bat in a lineup that normally is loaded with left-handers. On the other side of the equation, Robin has got his ball club playing good solid baseball last night. Unfortunately, they just couldn't score enough runs against a very good Yankee bullpen. So as the Yankees take the field, let's take a look at how Robin is going to line up our Sox for the game tonight. Adam Eaton leading it off and playing center field. And it's Jose Abreu. Trace Thompson hitting in the 3 spot tonight. Melky Cabrera with 100 home runs, 95 stolen bases, and knocking at the door of 600 runs batted in. Then it's Avi Garcia, the DH, Alexei Ramirez, Mike Olt, Tyler Flowers, and Gordon Beckham at second and hitting 9. The defense and how they'll line up behind CC Sabathia, Chris Young in left field. Then it's Brett Gardner, Carlos Beltran in right. In the infield, Chase Headley. Didi Gregorius gets a start at short with Rob Refsnyder at second. Then it's Greg Bird, who came in late in the ball game last night, and Brian McCann behind the plate. Our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is CC Sabathia. CC on for his 28th start. He's 5-9 this year. He's had all kinds of knee problems. It's bone on bone, and the big left-hander has really struggled, although lately, because of a new knee brace, he's thrown it exceptionally well. The umpires for the game tonight, and they're different than the umpires from last night. Alan Porter behind the plate. Holbrook is at first, Brian O'Nora at second, and Mark Ripperger is at third. And so as CC takes his warm-up pitches, CC said that up until he got the new brace, every time he would stride forward, he was in pain, and that's one of the reasons for that record he has. But since the new brace, it doesn't allow his knee to twist at all. He says it's like a brand new him, and the last 3 times out, he's certainly shown that. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, and that means that we're ready to play baseball, and that means that I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Game 2 of this 4-game set, and indeed it is a huge, huge series for the New York Yankees. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As Adam Eaton. First pitch, chopper to Hopper. One pitch, one out.
Now the big man comes into this game 85 games over 500. He's 213 and 128. This is a most disappointing year for him. However, he feels it's a new lease on life, and we'll see how he throws the ball tonight.
So here's Abreu. Game time temperature 69 degrees. Abreu 1 for 5 last evening. Comes in hitting at 291, 29 homers, and 96 driven in. Sox hitting at 251 as a club. Didi Gregorius. Go very quickly now with 2 out. Let's check out our picks to click tonight. Commands yard, director and the crew. Lexi. Steve's going with Avi. Mike Mazza, Kenny Wiz, Tom Eichstadt, Pete Catazone, Laura Remus, Mary Weiss, Nick Bristow, Charles Johnson, Mark Zucker, Tommy Sheridan, and a whole bunch of good people back in our offices at home. We're going to go with Gordon Beckham. So here's Trace.
CC's probably up a couple of miles an hour on that fastball, but he's not going to show it to you until he has to. He also has always had a very good straight change. It identifies as his fastball, only he takes about 4 or 5 miles an hour off. He's always had a good slider. That's been a big pitch for him throughout his career.
Well, Trace was our run producer last night, and here is what he did leading off the 6th inning.
At this point, Pineda had given up nothing. Nothing until that.
So that was his 5th homer. He has 8 doubles and 2 triples.
Hard to believe, 28 hits, 15 for extra bases. The batters look quick. He's been able to use the whole field. It's been really an impressive start.
Well, you'd be hard pressed to find a more impressive start from a youngster.
No, he's done a terrific job. And he looks so good defensively that you can pretty much play him anywhere in the outfield.
He has made some terrific plays, and he's made a lot of plays look easy, too. That pitch at 90 upstairs.
That has been the one pitch that consistently has gotten by him, and the one thing that he's going to have to lay off.
Well, it's going to be that way for a while yet, till he. Hitting coach is not going to do it. He's going to have to do it himself. And usually guys with good baseball acumen, they will do it. Because there's a grounder. That's a fair ball. Headley. And a 1-2-3 inning for the 6'7", 285-pound southpaw, CC Sabathia.
Rapids, Iowa. Now let's take a look at how Joe Girardi's going to line up his Yankees. It's Gardner leading it off with Headley and Rodriguez at the top. Then it's Beltran, McCann, and Young, followed by Bird, Refsnyder, and Gregorius. The defense and how they'll line up. Behind Young, Carlos Rodon, Cabrera, Eaton, and Thompson in the outfield with Holt, Ramirez, Beckham, and Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. And our Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon. He's 8-6 this year. His ERA more than respectable. It's a 3.78, 135 strikeouts and 133 in a third innings. That's just over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, and that is wonderful for anybody, but especially a rookie.
He's answered the question. Indeed, he is a special rookie. So here's Brett Gardner. Takes first pitch strike. Gardner hitting at 260, 16 homers, 65 driven in. Yankees hitting at 251, the same as our guys. Yankees with a 3.96 team ERA. Then you get one of the better umpires in baseball behind the plate. This is, as Steve told you, an entirely different crew than we had last evening. That's very unusual, but this is a good crew. He gone.
Last time this Yankee team saw Carlos Rodon, he didn't throw the ball very well at all, and they probably got a whole different impression of him than the guy they're going to face tonight. This is a good hard slider, low and away. This is one of the reasons why you're not going to find a whole lot of left-handers facing him. Eventually it's going to get almost like a Chris Sale situation. But with two sliders and one a great wipeout slider, he's a top of the rotation starter.
Switch hitter, third baseman Chase Headley. Takes first pitch strike. He was 2 for 3 last night. Comes in hitting at 262, 11 homers and 61 knocked in. And that's going to be unplayable. Didn't have enough time to get over there. And here at the stadium, 316 down the left field line, 314 down the right field line. 385 in deep right center, 399 in deep left center, and 408 straight away center. Here you go. 2 down. Chris Sale last night with 8 strikeouts in 7 innings.
That wipeout slider is anywhere from 88 to 91. Doesn't matter right or left-hander. It just bites down and into the right-handers. Most of them swing over the top. Left-handers cannot identify the spin, so they're going to go out. It's not there when they try to catch up to it.
And here's Alex. First pitch strike. Alex at 251, 32 long ones and 83 RBIs. 0 for 3 last night, but he has faced Carlos twice and he has 2 hits. Yankees with a home record of 42 and 32. Road record of 42 and 36. Tampa Bay has scored 2 in the top of the first up at the Rogers Center in Toronto.
Well, with R.A. Dickey, there's no rhyme or reason to when that knuckleball is working, and when it's not, he's easy prey. When it is, he's really tough to hit.
3-1. That ball hit deep, but we got a man there. And it'll retire the side. A couple of strikeouts and a deep fly by Alex Rodriguez.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
No score, top of the second inning. It'll be Cabrera, Garcia, and Ramirez for us. As you look at a man who first year back in 2001 with the Cleveland Indians, 17-5. What do you think about that first year that we saw CC? The first couple times we saw him, he did not have a changeup.
Well, but he was a fireballer in those days.
Well, he could get up there in the high 90s.
Yeah.
But midway through the season, about the third time we saw him, he had come up with a change, and then the following year, it was one of the best changeups in the league.
That straight change, along with his hard slider and the fact that he was such a big man that hit the ball well. He's got a kind of a hitch in his delivery.
And Melky just smokes it into left field for the leadoff single. He's always had that. Right there.
Yeah, you see that little hitch, and Melky waited back, crushed that ball to left field. So a promising start to the second inning.
Well, Melky now 4 for 11 with a couple of home runs against the backfield. So he's seen him pretty well. And here's Avi. Avi at 259, 12 homers, 57 driven in.
...2012 for CC was probably his last really good year. He was 15-6, his ERA 3.38. Then unfortunately he started having a lot of physical problems, mostly revolving around that knee. There you see 85 over 500 with a lifetime ERA of 3.69. He's been a good one.
Goes through that one at 89.
He came up with the Indians. He was a first-round draft pick. That was back in 1998. Eventually, because they were going to lose him, he was traded to Milwaukee. Michael Brantley was the result of that trade, and he's still starring for the Indians. After going 11-2 with Milwaukee, became a free agent, and the Yankees picked him up in 2009. He went 19-8 for them.
Good rip. Yeah, when you're 19-4 against the club.
Lifetime, yes.
That is pretty much total domination. But we had one guy who just wore him out. And it was funny. None of our guys could hit him except Pablo Ozuna.
And it was too late for him to come to the park tonight?
Pablo. He was some kind of good teammate. Some kind of. There's that change. 1 out.
Takes a little something off, and that's the pitch that really made the difference for him. He has Avi well out in front. CC has won 19 games against both Detroit, Kansas City, as well as our Sox. So he is bidding to win number 20, and that would be the most against any opponent.
Yeah, all of our big guns back in those days, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 1 for 5 against Pablo. Come in and go 2 for 3, 3 for 4. I mean, shots. No Kansas City specials in there.
Well, this is the first time the Sox lineup has looked at him since back in 2013. Now, CC did lose a whole lot of weight, and last year a lot of the fans saying, put it back on, because he wasn't the pitcher last year and the knee was giving him all kinds of problems. He's just coming into his own the last few starts.
And Joe Goob tells us. Pablo hit .412 against him.
It's a good number.
14 for 34. And there's a base hit. That a boy. Alexei, get by, and it will. All right, they're going to wave him home. He's going to score. So Alexei now will pull up at second as Melky crosses home plate, and there's 1-0 Sox. Double number 18 for Alexei, RBI number 58. That's the approach you got to have against a good left-handed pitcher.
Well, this is a fastball down the middle, and he takes it and splits the gap in right center.
You got to try to beat him arm side. One of these days, the guys are going to understand that. You got to try to beat these guys arm side. So 10 home runs, 60 RBIs. Here's Mike Holt. Check out the last 25 years on right-handed hitters who have had good success against left-handed pitching. You will find the majority of them. The majority of their hits came from between second base and first base. In right field, right center. There's the strike. Pick him up, Mike. We need some runs.
CC has had extensive postseason experience in the postseason over the course of his career. He's 9-5, starring especially in the division series. He's 6-1, and he started 9 games in division series over the course of his career.
He's been terrific. There's no question about that. When you're 85 games over and you've won over 200 games.
Pretty strong.
Got him. Close pitch goes CeCe's way.
Take a look at the inside part of the plate on our Menards pitch tracks, and we'll show you that it was framed nicely by McCann. And he did a good job because most of his glove was actually on the inside corner. Just the tip of his glove was on the outside part of the plate. And he got the call.
Here's Tyler. Tyler 2 for 4 last night, 0 for 2 lifetime against CeCe. There's a pretty good pitch, and CeCe didn't get that one. Big gap out there in right center. Two 2-0. That game tomorrow is a 3:05 Central start. It'll be Johnny Danks against Adam Warren in that game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. There was a nice approach, but underneath it. And then finale on Sunday, Eric Johnson against one of their good young arms, Luis Severino.
Well, Severino's got a great slider, and they're hoping for big things. But if they, and you would assume they would get in the one and done game, it's probably going to be Tanaka if he's entirely healthy. He'll get that start.
That had the corner. Two pitch. That change up low and away.
Gordon in the on deck circle if Tyler can keep it alive.
And he does. And that'll bring up Beckham, who actually has had more success against CB than anybody in this lineup. He's faced him 23 times, has 10 hits.
Pretty good numbers against a guy as good as Sabathia has been. And they're going to shade him a couple of steps toward right center.
That's according to how you see the ball out of a guy's hands. Sometimes you pick it up real good, other times you can't pick it up at all. He did go, and they call it. Like Ron Kittle against Bert Blyleven. That's the last guy you think Kitty would own, and he just absolutely owned him.
When a guy has really good luck with you, it seems like you're hanging just about every curveball if that's your pitch, or you're hanging every slider if that's your pitch. Can't figure it out, but the other guy seems to know what you're throwing.
Watch out. That hit him. And that'll load him up. And of course, Ron Kittle, former Rookie of the Year with our White Sox back in 1983, 35 homers, 100 RBIs. And Bert Blyleven with Minnesota at that time, and he just a couple of years ago went into the Hall of Fame, right-hander.
So McCann going out there to have a word with Sabathia, who's pitched himself into a jam. He's got the bases loaded.
Here's Adam. He hit the first pitch thrown by CeCe, grounded out to second base. Rob Refsnyder. Ooh, got a cookie right there. Couldn't pull the trigger. But sometimes you can get away with it on first pitch. Now he's in a big hole. That was a very, very iffy pitch. Could have gone either way, and it went CeCe's.
Looks like Alan Porter is going to give a little bit off the corners, but he's not going to call the high strike tonight.
That's fair ball. Picks it up, steps on the bag. But we get on the board. A single, that RBI double by Alexei, and it's 1-0 good guys. 10 preview tomorrow's premier college matchups on Sportsnet Central. Then at 10:30, go inside the NFL on Playbook with Jim Miller. That's followed by high school lights at 11, so don't miss Friday night kickoff tonight at 10 right here on CSN Chicago. 1-0 Sox. It'll be Beltran, McCann, and Chris Young. First pitch strike. Beltran 2 for 4 last night with that big 3-run homer.
Here was the biggest single swing of the night. 3 runs, that was all the Yankees needed. The bullpen eventually made it hold up. Beltran has been their hottest hitter.
Well, Sherry went down. They had to have somebody step it up, and he did. Last 6 games, he has 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. 38-year-old veteran. That's right at him. And that's out number 1.
Join us at U.S. Cellular Field on Saturday, October 3rd, as the White Sox host the Detroit Tigers at 6:10. First 10,000 fans will receive an exclusive stretch sale action figure. For tickets or more information, visit whitesox.com. That hit him. Didn't get much of him, but got enough of him to send him to first. Ken knows he's got to get on base. And that barely tipped the jersey.
Well, he's got 26 homers and 91 RBIs. So he's having a big time season for these Yankees with all the injuries that they have had. And here's Chris Young, 247, 14 homers and 41 knocked in.
That's the 7th man that Carlos has hit. And for McCann, that's the 10th time he's been hit. So he stands right on top of the plate, especially against a tough left-hander. Probably doesn't mind taking one for the club.
Popped up. Trace. 2 down, and that'll bring up Greg Bird. 23-year-old rookie. Hitting at 256, 10 homers and 28. And he's had some big hits for this ball club.
When you look at his numbers and the power numbers as opposed to the at-bats, he's burst on the scene and really done a whale of a job. 10 home runs. He's only been to bat 125 times. He's driven in 28. Over the course of a year, that pencils out to some very big numbers.
Well, he's a 283 minor league hitter.
And he was the guy when the Yankees were looking for a pitcher and they wanted a big name pitcher in a deal. Severino and Bird were 2 of the guys that everybody asked about, and they were all told the same thing: not on your life.
Well, we talked about Brian Cashman, a very outstanding GM of the Yankees, last night. We talked about how he and Buzzy Bavasi were the only GMs to win 4 World Series. Well, that's not even close. Information we got. One thing Brian has done, though, that no other general manager has done, his first 3 years as GM, he won World Series titles. Nobody else has ever done that. But George Weiss and Ed Barrow, these guys, Weiss in 13 years won 10 pennants and 7 World Series.
That was pretty good.
Ed Barrow in 18 years won 14 pennants and 10 World Series. So I don't know where Buzzy slipped in. Full count.
Snyder, pretty good solid hitter. Trying to work on his defense at second.
He did not go. So 2 on 2 out. And here's Snyder. Three for 17 since being called up. He was 1 for 3 last night.
That one hit went to right field as he came up, got a fastball away, and did what he should have done with it. Took it in the hole between first and second.
Well, he can swing the bat. He's a .297 minor league hitter.
He was up earlier in the season. He was up for 4 games. They thought he swung the bat well enough, but told him that he had to go down and work on his defense if he was going to come back. He did just that. They brought him back, and now he's getting a lot of play against the left-handers.
Well, they got 3 of our left-handers in the first 3 games of this series. Sale last night, Carlos tonight, and Johnny Danks tomorrow.
The Yankees had their druthers. They would face a right-handed starter. They're a much better lineup against the right-handers than the lefties.
Right to the bag, and that'll retire the side. We have finished 2 and we lead it 1-0.
You just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
It'll be Abreu, Thompson, and Cabrera. CeCe, a very large man, but a terrific athlete. Tremendous football player. Has always fielded his position extremely well.
And a great basketball player.
Well, usually he's a great athlete. Oh. Not old. Headley.
Headley's problems this year have not been with the glove work, because that part of it's been good. Where his problems have come is throwing the baseball, and although in this series He's thrown it well. He's committed 22 errors this year.
Here's Trace. He went out to Headley. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in left center. And he starts him off. Turns it over. Sinks it low and away.
In the early going, we're not seeing a lot of sliders from CC. We've seen his fastball. He's changing elevations. He's throwing it down, and then he'll throw one face high.
As we touched on earlier, CeCe's had his most memorable performances against us, primarily because of the changeup. That big fastball he had and that changeup.
He got it to 91, which earlier in the season, before the new knee brace, he couldn't do. So things getting a little better for the very large man.
I can't imagine going out there and trying to pitch with a bad knee.
Well, especially when you've got no cartilage left, and really he's got none. Somewhere very shortly after he retires, they're going to have to do a knee replacement on him. He knows that. Doing a lot of draining of it in the meantime. He's had that done 3 or 4 times this year.
Well, the knee replacements are getting to be somewhat like changing spark plugs in your car. Knees and hips, I'll tell you, it's amazing what they're doing.
Easiest thing is with the knee in. The rehab's a little tough. The hip is a lot easier.
Now, I had a buddy of mine that had the biggest thing that you got to watch out for is a staph infection.
Yep.
There's a shot base hit.
Well, CC fell behind, threw him a 3-1 fastball. And what we've seen from Trace is if he got a pretty good idea what's coming, he's going to hit it hard. And here's an example of fastball right down the middle. And he did indeed hit it hard.
Got one of the best finishes on our club. His extension comes after contact, not before. So here's Melky. He led off last inning with a rocket single and came around to score on the double by Alexei. There's a breaking ball strike.
Melky looking back at Alan Porter, but that one had the whole plate.
As I said at the start, Alan Porter is one of the best umpires in baseball. But he's going to miss some. You see
nobody who doesn't.
250, 300 pitches a game, you're going to miss some.
Yeah. If you're a hitter, you just hope it's not with 2 strikes.
There he goes. They get Melky. Trace into second. So here's Avi. Avi struck out, got him on a changeup.
There's one of the biggest differences in the game. CC Sabathia, after that ground out, had the ball thrown back to him. He took a look at it. There was a scrape on the ball. In years past, pitchers would love to throw pitches with a scrape on the ball. CC looked at it, threw it out of play, and asked for another one from Alan Porter.
Good.
It is good. It's good for the hitter.
That fastball at 90. Cardinals come back and scored a run. Right now it's top of the third up in Canada. 2-1 Tampa Bay.
That Toronto team is so difficult to beat at home. They're 50-28. They reach the magic number. 50 wins at home guarantees, if you just play 500 on the road, which is exactly what they've done, you're going to wind up with 90+ wins.
There, you got him again on it. Same pitch he struck him out on. Two out, 1-2 the count. There's a shot base hit. And here comes Trace. He's going to score. They got Avi hung up. Now they get him. He went past the bag. But the RBI single by Avi scores Trace Thompson, and it is 2-0 Sox. Parks, accommodations on site, and an invite to attend the grand opening of Universal's newest dining experience in DC, Sports Grill and Brew. So enter for your chance to win at csnchicago.com/universal now through October 2nd. And that is a wonderful trip. Two nothing good guys. Didi Gregorius, the 9th place hitter, the shortstop, will lead it off. Didi hitting at .267, 9 homers and 52 driven in.
He was acquired from the Diamondbacks in a 3-way trade, including Detroit. And he's a pretty good sized young shortstop. 25 years old, 6'2", 205, and he's got some pop.
He's got some talent. Got that one on the fist. Another one of the good-looking young shortstops.
Hey, Sox fans, join Harold Baines, Abisail Garcia, and Carlos Sanchez on November 28th for Sox on the Beach Apple Vacation. This 7-night all-inclusive stay will be at the Iberostar Paraíso del Mar in Riviera Maya, Mexico. There's going to be a private welcome party and autograph session, food and drink, and a special group activity with your White Sox hosts. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today.
Brett Gardner struck out on a slider and it was thrown out at first. Watch out, they got it pretty good.
Second band that's been hit, and now Joe Girardi's coming out. They want to look at Gardner. You can't afford to lose this guy. When they face right-handers, you got Gardner and Ellsbury at the top of that lineup, and that gives you a whole lot of speed. That ball hit him off the left forearm.
Well, you could hear that one up here.
Gardner hit for the 6th time, and that one got him flush.
There's Chase Headley.
Gardner with 19 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. Last night, Jacoby Ellsbury stole his 20th, and it turned out to be his 300th of his career.
Headley was a strikeout victim.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview.
He's 19 for 24 in stolen bases.
That lead in Toronto didn't last too long. It's now a 2-2 game.
There's a strike. Chopper. Two down. And one final over in the National League this afternoon. Hurdles Pirates beat Joe Madden's Cubs 3-2. Garrett Cole over John Lester. Cole 18-8. Lansing 51 saves.
They had their look at Garrett Cole. They're going to probably see him in the one-and-done game. Pirates will see Jake Arrieta on Sunday. They will see him in the one-and-done game.
Well, when you see Jake Arrieta, you're seeing probably the best in the business today. With Garrett Cole not far behind.
No. Arrieta's had a magnificent run. His ERA the second half in the neighborhood of .46.
Well, that's the best stuff we've seen all year when he beat us. And it appears that he has not let up since then.
Just gotten better.
That can't get any better.
Second half of the year.
It can't get any better than what he had against us. I mean, that's as good as it gets from a right-handed pitcher. You might get a left-hander out there. Sometimes it got a little better, but not from a right-hander. That's when you're unhittable. That's about as good as it gets. Alex turns and burns. Meanwhile, just a strike.
That's one of the things that folks who scouted the Yankees have noticed about Alex these days. Second half of the year, he's really had to cheat against some of the better fastballs inside. That bat has slowed down. Overall, been a remarkable year, but the last month or so, things have gotten a little tough for him.
Well, he's 40 years old.
Yep.
There's a slider strike.
Yankees do know one thing, and that is they would not be right now pretty much secured of a wild card spot without Alex Rodriguez and the first half he had for them.
Well, when you're hitting against, I don't care if you're 20, 25, 30, and you're hitting against a good major league fastball, you got to cheat. You don't have to cheat physically, you got to cheat mentally. And what he's doing right now, he's having to cheat a little bit physically.
He is.
Well, I have never. One guy is all I've seen when he got to the age of 40 was a better fastball hitter then than he was when he won a Triple Crown. And that was Carl Yastrzemski, the Boston Red Sox. In all these years. That's the first walk issue. Technically, the second walk, he walked Bird. So he's hit 2 and walked 2. And here's Beltran.
And Tyler went out there to have a word with him. Wants to make sure he's got his concentration. Don Cooper now is coming out, taking a long, slow walk to the mound.
In that Pirate 3-2 victory, Michael Morse, former Sox farmhand, was 2 for 3. Big RBI. When we had Michael Morse, he was a 6'5" shortstop.
He spent a long time because he can hit fastballs pretty well.
Boy, he's had a nice career. I've followed him because he's such a nice guy.
A long time in the major leagues.
Yeah. Such one of those guys that you just couldn't be happier for. Beltran pops it up. Alexei. And that'll retire the side, so they strand a couple of more. And we lead it by a couple.
Off the bat of Alexei Ramirez in the second inning. Drives this ball into right center. It rolls all the way to the wall by Beltran. And Melky scores the first of 2 runs tonight.
Lexi now 60 RBIs. CC Sabathia, 213 up, 128 down. That's plus 85 for his career. 2007 was the Cy Young Award winner. Two and 0 the count. And the count 3-0. Mike Olds on deck. That didn't take long. Second walk issued by CC. And now Joe McEwing will go through his sequence. Hold a strikeout victim. That's in center field. Brett Gardner. And Alexi's going to give it a go. Gone. No, he said he's safe.
The ball beat him, but he didn't tag it. That's Ref Snyder's fault. He had him as a perfect throw by Gardner. And Joe Girardi wants to take a look before he commits. Gardner sets up nicely, gets rid of the ball quickly, gets it in plenty of time.
Brian Lenore in great position to make the call.
He doesn't tag the foot, and unless he comes in, it looks like he gets the hand to the bag before he tags him on the hip.
Well, that's just a rookie mistake right there. You got to keep it on him, young man. In my time frame, he was out.
Yep. Ball beats him. Runners out.
Ball be runner out. That was the rule. But of course, there was a little more. Is that's nice stop. Low throw. Can't pick it. That'll be the 23rd error on Headley.
And that is the exact book on Headley. The fact that he can dive to either side with anybody in the league. But then he gets up and almost invariably makes a bad throw. He's got him by plenty if he just keeps the ball in the air. He doesn't. And Bird doesn't absorb the low throw. He's a youngster. You see him try to swipe it. Not the greatest technique, and it does go E5.
So here's Beckham. He was hit by a pitch his first trip. Gordon takes ball 1.
You don't hear him talk about it very much because they really miss the bat of Mark Teixeira. One of the things they truly miss is that glove. He had made just 3 errors all year in 111 games, and he undoubtedly picks that one.
Well, he and Eric Hosmer. In this league, this is about as good as it gets.
They both are terrific, and in talking with Kenny Singleton, who is one of the broadcasters for the Yankees, former teammate of mine, he said that Teixeira has saved all the infielders a lot of errors, but he thinks specifically he saved Headley at least 10 of them.
Come on, Gordon, we got to make him pay. Got to make them pay for that arrow. We paid enough this year for sure.
Indeed.
Oh, he got a cookie and missed it for him.
On to pitch tracks. We'll show you it's up and out of the zone.
That's a good pitch for Gordon to hit, though, at 90.
Fouled it straight back.
95 is another story. 90, that's a cookie. Back him up. So he pitches over the arrow. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th.
There's going to be Latin music and dancing, special activities for kids, an on-the-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, official beer of your Chicago White Sox. Tickets start as low as $10, so visit whitesox.com/NHH.
And it was a year ago tonight that Derek Jeter played his final game here at Yankee Stadium. He went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs, including, as most of us saw, a game-winning walk-off single in the 9th and a 6-5 win over Baltimore.
Only fitting.
That was a storybook ending.
Only fitting for Derek Jeter. When Derek Jeter retired, he had the highest winning percentage of any player in the history of the game. Just under 600 winning percentage for his career. And he was somewhere in the neighborhood of between 700 and 800 games over 500. Of course, he had the luxury of playing for some very, very good Yankee teams. But what a career.
That ball just completely flew away. All that spin on it. Gordon, who's a terrific defender. You're talking about now, that's even better than the Kansas City special. Watch this. Watch Gordon.
Well, the bat shatters, and Gordon goes to the line, and that ball slices away from him. When a left-hander hits a ball to right field, you're just not going to see it spin toward right center. It's going to always go to the line, except for that one.
So here's Chris Young. He's 0 for 1. He popped up to Trace in the second inning. Well, Derek Jeter is a generational player. They don't come along very often.
No, he did it on the biggest stage. He did it with grace and dignity. He did it the way it was supposed to be done his entire career.
Oh, yeah. Can't control it. Dadgummit. That'll be a base hit. Well, that's what making contact by Brian McCann will get you. Alexei is playing a normal position. He gets that ball. Meanwhile, he didn't because he was a double play depth, and now there's 2 on, nobody out.
Now, it looked at first like it was going to be a base hit. Then it looked like it had a chance to be 2. Then you're hoping for 1. Then it trickles away, and it's 2 on, nobody out.
So here's Greg Bird. He walked his first trip. And he takes ball 1. That ball hit hard. Caught! What a jump and what a play by Trace Thompson again. Mercy.
This ball looked like it's going over his head. Going to be a 2-base hit. Score at least 1. And then who knows from there. Bird crushes it. And Trace goes back. Makes the leap. At the top of his jump, he hauls it in. Gets it back into the infield. No advancement by the base runners. And what a play by Trace Thompson.
That's just about as athletic a play as you're going to see an outfielder make right there. With the jump, the leap, the timing, the whole 9 yards. Wow. So here's Refsnyder. He grounded out to Alt. That play that he just made right there is so much tougher to make than a diving full layout catch. It's not even close. Tardy on that one. 2 on, 1 out. 2-1 to count. That's downstairs. Jeff Snyder's got the count. He's got the catbird seat at 3-1. walk issue. So here's Gregorius. He got jammed. A little can of corn out. Thompson and right. That's a strike. He didn't get it.
Career with the bases loaded in very limited action, but Gregorius hitting .333.
Gets that one.
Bases full of Yankees.
Big pitch, the 1-1. And the game is tied at 2. All started with that broken bat single at Kansas City Special.
Gregorius drives in runs 53 and 54, bringing Don Cooper out. This is a slider on the outside corner, and he turns on it. If this ball is down, it's got a good chance of being a ground ball to second, but because it was waist high, turns into a line drive and a tie game.
All right, let's just get out of this one. We're going to get some more runs.
That's Tony Pena in your picture. Former Major League catcher and a good one. Former Major League manager and a pretty good one. Another one of those guys that had a lot of joy playing this game. And he is a baseball lifer.
Here's Gardner, struck out, and then he was hit by a pitch. Hit solid in the arm. Two 4-0 for us. 2-3-1 for them. That's going to be a base hit. And that'll load him up.
Three left-handers this inning have had base hits against Carlos Rodon, which is pretty unusual. Probably the hardest hit ball of the inning was the one that was caught.
Oh, no doubt about that.
If
that
not,
ball was a rocket.
If not for Trace Thompson, this would be a huge inning.
So here's Headley, a strikeout and a ground out to short. That one at 95, blowing away. Adam Eaton, a couple steps over towards Trace and right, gap out there in left center. All right, take your time, rack them up. And that'll do it. He throws a double play ball when he had two, but they score a pair and we're tied at 2.
From the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Learn baseball fundamentals from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches, and you can go in the batting and pitching cages as well as base running areas and more. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Got ourselves a 2-2 tie here in the top of the 5th inning. Adam is grounded to second, and he's grounded to first. Here's a breaking ball strike. Little chopper 2 hopper. One out. And Toronto now leading Tampa Bay 4-2. Josh Donaldson is cranked out number 40. Evan Pilar number 12.
Well, that's surprising. They would come back in this one. What an offense. Wow.
Here's Abreu. 2 ground balls, 1 to short, 1 to third. Outfield straight up, spread out, spaced about equidistant.
CC's at 65 pitches. The Yankees figure he's probably good for anywhere around 105, maybe tops 110 if he can get there. They'd love to see him go 7. They will, however, take 6 strong and take their chances.
He's got him. Boy, we've talked about it a lot. About the great, talented, young shortstops that are coming into the league. And besides making plays, we're seeing some absolute guns on these guys.
Yep.
I mean, they can throw.
Well, we're seeing the shortstops get bigger across the board. And we're seeing him bring in a whole lot of power along with every aspect of their game.
Well, even the little ones can throw. But they are getting bigger. Gregorius is a big one. Carlos Correa in Houston is a big one.
He's a real big one.
But even the little ones. Iglesias, Jose Iglesias, got a gun for the Tigers when he's healthy. Pace is grounded to third, and then he hit a rocket into left field for a base hit and came around to score.
How often have you seen it where a guy comes up and does substantially better in the major leagues than he did in the minor leagues?
Well, it's early yet, obviously, Steve, but I can say this, that we're seeing one of the most impressive call-ups we've ever seen from this young man right here. I mean, he's right up there at the top of young call-ups who everything in every respect, running the bases, throwing, playing defense, swinging the bat. Ball hit sharply to Didi. We're halfway home, tied at 2. And here we go, bottom of the 5th inning in a 2-2 tie. Alex Rodriguez. Here's an interesting. Alex's debut in the big leagues was in July 1994. When he made that debut, Carlos Rodon was a year and a half old.
Probably couldn't figure out he was left-handed or right-handed at that point.
Oh. His dad probably put a ball in that left hand.
Well, that would have been a very wise move and worked out very well for him.
Pretty good approach to that pitch.
Alex started his career right before that strike. Wiped out what had the potential of being a great World Series between two terrific teams, Montreal in the National League and our Sox in the American League.
He gone. He knew it. Third strikeout. He struck out the first two, and that's the first strikeout since Gardner and Headley.
Alex guessing anything else but a fastball on the inner third, and he takes a called third. I don't think Montreal ever recovered from that '94 season. They eventually lost their baseball team.
Well, that was one of the most anxiously awaited and talked about World Series, potential World Series, that I can ever remember. But there were two terrific ball clubs. But people also forget at that particular point in time, Kansas City was coming on like gangbusters. They were playing great ball. But it would have probably been, had they played it out, it would have probably been one of the most exciting World Series that certainly we've ever seen. Donald Fear. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, in my career. And I started in 1959 in professional baseball. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Watch out.
Well, that was a slider that slipped out of his hands.
Yep.
And
McCann knows it.
well, he's hit him once. But a pitcher hopes at that point is hit the bat, come back in fair territory. The hitter's wondering what in the world's going on.
I remember having a conversation with the guys who were coming back from Oakland, and that it was coming up, the date. And some of the guys came in the back and asked me what I thought about it. Not a good swing by Brian. And I told him, I said, if you guys let Donald Fear take you into a strike, shame on you. Shame on you.
Yep. Took baseball a long time to come back from that. To come back it did.
Well, it took a couple of guys hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah, 1998.
And there is the fourth walk. So McCann is perfect on the evening with that broken bat base hit. That started off that two-run fourth. Here's Chris Young, a pop up to right. He had an infield single.
Bud Selig was proud of a lot of things over the course of his career as commissioner. One of the things that he was most proud of was labor peace, as that is a wild pitch.
Very well.
But after '94, they had labor peace the rest of the way. Still have it to this day. And the game is thriving. Is that ball, probably when they designed a wild pitch, that's what they had in mind.
Well, they finally got Donald Fear out of it. If they hadn't, there would not have been labor peace. There's a strike. He's having trouble with that. I wonder if it's that finger again.
Now, when he's had his worst control, a lot of it has to do with the blister on that middle finger. Don't know if it's still bothering him, but.
Well, you'd have to think that as much problems he's had with it, it probably is bothering him a little bit. Meanwhile, here's the 2-1. He's not even coming close.
No, and he's had 2 different pitches slip out of his hands.
You've had it.
Yeah.
That's a bad.
No, you can't feel the baseball.
That's high into left field. Melky back in front of State Farm. That's what you call a just missed them. Meanwhile, we're still tied at 2. On CSN Chicago at 2 p.m. Join host Chris Bowden along with former Bears Lance Briggs, Jim Miller, and our guy Dan Jiggets for Bears pregame live presented by Meyer. Then after the action, flip back to CSN for Bears postgame live presented by Nissan. And it all starts Sunday at 2 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Top of the 6th. Cabrera, Garcia, and Ramirez.
Melky with a little showmanship ending the inning. He catches it. Then a strong gust of wind blows him almost back into the scoreboard. Then he fakes throwing the ball for a souvenir and comes back in.
Melky's got that quiet sense of humor.
Melky's funny.
He is. He's the funniest guy on the club.
He's a funny guy.
But he's got that sense of humor like Robin. Right. Quiet. You don't know what he's going to do. A souvenir into the mezzanine.
Well, you take a look at the Amish Melky Cabrera.
Long look in, sees he using maybe a little gamesmanship here. Headley gets that nice little Cantini bounce. Cantini and Terham. Ivy 1 for 2 with an RBI. Ivy cannot lay off that change.
It was one of the better straight changes from CC.
Well, he struck him out on one of his better ones too.
But Ivy got him the last time.
That's high in center field. Here's Alexei, an RBI double and a walk.
CC's only used 79 pitches. And with one more out, he will be through 6. Yankees don't have another off day after this 4-game series. They entertain the Red Sox for a 4-game series.
Out and around that one. There's that strong arm. Boy, has he got a gun or what? He is fun to watch slow. 1-2-3. Meanwhile, we're tied at 2.
Strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Greg Bird will lead it off. It'll be the lower third of their order. Bird, Refsnyder, and Gregorius. Bird has walked, and then he was robbed of extra bases and an RBI, maybe 2, on a brilliant, stunning catch by Trace Thompson. And if you missed it, here it is. 2 men on.
This could turn out to be the biggest play of the night if the Sox do go on to defeat the Yankees, because this saved 1 and who knows how many in what could have been a very big inning. As it was, they got 2.
That was a tremendous jump. As soon as that ball was hit, you could see he was after it. The only way you can get jumps like that is being into the game. If you're thinking about anything else, you cannot get the jump. That's a good call by John Walgren, our producer, and also by having 3 NBA players who will get on your behind.
I'm sure you've done a little jumping with them in the past. But I think it was Michael Kay who said that Trace Thompson probably the smartest guy in his family. He's the only one entered a league with no salary cap.
Refsnyder down into the corner. So Rob will pick up his first double.
His ball is up out over the plate, and Refsnyder takes it right down the line, and as it rattles around in the corner, Trace was able to get it back in and hold him for a 2-base hit. But both hits we've seen have been to right field. Not easy to negotiate that corner. A whole lot of outfielders go in there, only see the ball rattle around and follow the fence all the way around toward right center.
So here is Gregorius, had a 2-run single. And out and around a slider and hit it into right field. To the count with 1 out. And once again, reminder, 3:05 Central start tomorrow. Game 3 of this 4-game set. And that'll be Johnny Danks against Adam Warren. Watch out. Then on Sunday in the finale of this 4-game series, and then the final game of the 2015 road schedule. Eric Johnson, who's 3-0 since being called up against Luis Severino. Maybe 12:05 start, and that game will be over WGN. All huge games for the Yankees.
With the Yankees entertaining Boston for 4, Boston likes nothing better than to beat the Yankees, and Xander Bogaerts is having just a magnificent year for those Red Sox, hitting .324 this year. So he's another young shortstop that has come of age right before our very eyes.
Well, they've been touting him for a couple of years now, and we're seeing the results of it.
Well, they had Mookie Betts, who was a shortstop also, and they decided because of Xander Bogaerts, Mookie had to go to the outfield. Mookie's hitting .292.
Mookie's going to be a good player.
Yeah, he is. They got some good young players in Boston.
Jackie Bradley's got a chance to be a good player.
And they got a wave of young players coming up after these guys.
Well, they thought they were going to. They thought they were going to be the same. They had the same expectations as we did, as Seattle did, as San Diego did. coming out of spring training.
A lot of people pick Boston to win this division.
That's high and going. I was talking with Alan Baird, former general manager of Kansas City, and now works with Boston, before the game today, and we were talking about just how disappointing this has been for our White Sox and their Red Sox because of the expectations. Boston thought they were loaded. We thought we were loaded.
Yeah. We weren't the Lone Rangers. There was a lot of people that thought
a lot of people picked
both
us.
these teams would be awfully good this year.
So, and here comes Coop. That's the 5th walk issued. Not too much doubt that Carlos having a little control problem now.
He's hit 2 and walked 5. Hey, Sox fans, all season long you can score with Papa John's Pizza. The day after the Sox score 5 or more runs, get 50% off your entire online order at papajohns.com with the promo code SOX5. That's at all participating Papa John's locations. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Brett Gardner struck out, then was hit by a pitch, and then he singled in center. 2 on, 1 out. If you're just tuning in, we had the bases loaded back in the 2nd. They only come up with 1. We've been having the bases loaded. We had them loaded twice last night. Couldn't do anything with them. Game before that in Detroit, we had them loaded, and we just cannot do anything with the bases loaded. There's a strike at the top of the zone.
Oh, that was the extreme top of the zone, something that Alan Porter hasn't been doing a whole lot of tonight. But Carlos, struggling with his control, will gladly take that one.
And hitters. All the hitters know that Allen's a good umpire, so you get a good umpire back there who works hard like he does, and he misses one on you. It was not okay. Take it yourself and rack him up. Second double play that Carlos has thrown when he had to, and we're still tied at 2.
and Comer Children's Hospital. We're teaming up for kids' health. Kids Club members receive free White Sox tickets and a cool exclusive Kids Club item. For information about the 2016 Kids Club, email kidsclub@whitesox.com.
Top of the 7th inning in this game, tied at 2. It'll be the lower third of our order. Holt, Flowers, and Beckham to face CC Sabathia. Now field straight up for him. Backdoors him with a breaking ball, just catches the outside corner. Bottom of the 6th in Canada, 4-2 Blue Jays. You mentioned Josh Donaldson with his 40th home run. And it has 121 RBIs.
That from a number 2 hitter in the lineup.
You know, he is. It's hard to believe anybody in this league go ahead of him in the MVP.
Nope. I think that's a done deal.
That ball hit way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, a bomb. Wow. And it's a 3-2 Sox lead.
Home run number 3. Run batted in number 4. And you don't find too many longer than this as he picked on a low fastball. Our 4th home run replay. And Mike got every bit of that. Second deck. And a long way.
Tyler can't get it.
He loves the ball down, and he went down and got it. Hard to believe he can get too much more of it than that.
That's about most of it.
That's a blast.
Take another after the pitch, another look at that swing. And watch his front foot. Just watch his front foot there. See how late it hits the ground? When you hit the ground too quick with that front foot, young fellows out there, you got a problem. What job? And of course, with that home run by Alex Nellius family and Christine O'Reilly, along with White Sox charities, they'll get hooked up together once again, as they have many times in the past, in loving memory of Ursula.
Yankee bullpen going for the first time.
Now, CeCe has impressed me. He's thrown the ball well. He's thrown the ball a little better than I thought he was going to throw it.
Yep.
It must be that, as you mentioned, and you talked about that brace.
Yeah, he says that this is the first time he's thrown pain-free in a long time. There's Andrew Bailey. Well, at one point with Oakland, he looked like he was going to be a world beater. But he got to Boston in the trade and then promptly got hurt.
Jeff Snyder. Well, CeCe's throwing the ball good enough to win.
The last 3 starts, he's kept the ball in the ballpark. That was a radical departure from what happened before. And this is the first home run he's given up in the last 4 starts. So he saved it up because that was a long one.
Here's Gordon. He's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his first at bat. And his second at bat hit into a 5-4-3 double play. He hit the ball very hard right to Headley at third. That was with a man on first at third and 1 out. Went to the count. Taking some other scores for you. Top of the fourth in Kansas City, 3-0 Cleveland. Top of the seventh in Detroit, 4-1 Minnesota. Phillies leading Washington in D.C. 8-2, top of the eighth. One and two. Braves really struggling, trailing the Marlins 12-6. Braves 62 and 91 coming in. Red Sox shutting out Baltimore 5-0 after 6 at Fenway. That ball hit deep. He goes back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. A shot. His second home run off CC Sabathia. And it's a 4-2 Sox lead.
6 and 20 for Gordon. And 2 home runs here in the seventh. Our fourth home run replay. This ball out over the plate and away from Gordon. And not much doubt about that one either, as Young could only look up.
That breaking ball misses to Adam. Adam 0 for 3. So Mike Mazza and his crew, along with Tommy Sheridan and his crew, Mark Zucker and his crew, they're picked to click. Forward and backward. There's a strike. All right. I tell you, there's something right there that Adam, after a season's over with a nice rest. And then when you start, he's not going to let himself get out of shape. He's that kind of a guy. But rest a little bit, and then when you start working out again, work on that technique of bunting. And I mean, work on it hard. If he could get, which with that speed of his, if he can get 15 or 20 of those a year in 162 games, he's going to hit over 300.
1 a week. That's all you need is 1 a week. And if you do that, you're obviously going to have to show it a whole lot more. You're going to bring him in at the corners, and that's going to improve your batting average in itself.
Count hangs at 1 and 2. Yeah, 15 of those a year will give you 30 points on your average. Two down. Just the third strikeout for CC.
And here comes Joe Girardi, and he's going to want to go to the pen. CC is at 99 pitches. Bailey will come in. Sabathia will walk off. We'll step out and be back after these messages. He's on for the 7th time. His ERA 7.5. There you look at the numbers. And we talked about early in his career in Oakland, it appeared that the sky was the limit for this young man, only to have suffered a few injuries that really set him back.
He didn't pitch last year after shoulder surgery. He was the American League Rookie of the Year in 09 and was named to the All-Star game in 09 and in 2010. So that'll tell you where he was.
Yeah, he was absolutely electric stuff. But not these days.
Abreu, 3 ground balls, 2 to short, 1 to third. Big game down in Houston. Bottom of the third, Texas leading the Astros 3-0.
Each and every one of those games must win for Houston coming into action tonight. 4 games back in the loss column, 3.5 back overall.
He just missed that one. All right, 7th inning stretch. Homers by Michael Gordon Beckham. And we lead it 4-2. Man.
A scant 129. Only 9 walks, 28 strikeouts in 35 innings. He's been absolutely brilliant out of the bullpen. And he's on to save one, the 9th win for Carlos Rodon, who didn't have great stuff tonight. But he managed to battle him. Went 6, gave up only 2 runs on 5 hits. He walked 5, hit 2, fanned 4. He's saying not his best night, but for a young pitcher on this stage to battle a team that is grinding because they're going after the playoffs, you would have to say that this was a pretty impressive outing.
This is the kind of outing you want to see. You know what he's going to do when he's got his good stuff and his good control.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
What you got to find out with pitchers, especially young guys, is how they can handle it when they don't have their good stuff. They don't have their good control. He did not have either one tonight, and he still gave up 2 runs.
And especially against a team that really beat him up last time. First time he saw the Yankees at U.S. Cellular Field, he went 3 innings, gave up 8 runs against them. 8 earned runs. Stones
are not a problem with Carlos Rodon. No. He's got plenty of them. He's got some big ones. Yeah, those are the kind of outings right there you want to see from a young, talented pitchers. You know yourself, when you had your good stuff and your good control, most of the time you won.
Look, it was easier on those nights because you just had to think about throwing the ball away, and it would go away. I mean, making the ball break, and it would break. But on other nights, when you were thinking about making the ball break and it didn't break, that's when you really had to adjust. And as a young man, you don't see that adjustment too often.
Yeah, that's a 2-star night for me from Carlos. Headley is 0 for 3, a strikeout, ground out. He get fouled. It will. He also threw a couple of double play balls when he had to.
And that was pretty impressive because he had some problems in that 4th inning, only to have Headley ground into a 6-4-3. And then he had some problems in the 6th inning, only to see Gardner ground into a 6-4-3.
To the count, 31-year-old switch hitter.
And just in case, Zach Duke getting loosened up, and there's a look at Zach. He came on last night for 2/3 of an inning. He fanned 1. Looked pretty good. Got a ground out and a strikeout.
Well, when you're playing the Yankees and you're in a close ball game in the 7th inning, you better let Joe Girardi see a left-hander up in your bullpen.
One of the reasons why is when you get to the part of the lineup, and we're not going to see it for a while yet, where you can pinch hit. You got Jacoby Ellsbury sitting on the pines waiting to come in. You got Stephen Drew, both hit left-handed. Ellsbury a little more devastating these days. So you got some guys from the left side that can hurt you.
Well, that's the reason they got the visitors bullpen out there in left center, so Joe can see it. He knows what he's got in his pen in right center.
Right now he's got a lot of tired guys. Dylan Betances being one of them.
Well, he's had to.
Yeah.
Well, it's the job the starters have done.
Well, losing Eovaldi was a big blow because Nathan was 14-3. Even though his ERA was up there. That's 11 over. That's pretty good.
Hang up. Hang up. It won't. So here comes Alex. Alex 0 for 2 with a walk.
One thing that Matt Albers does real well is throw ground balls. And one thing that Alex cannot do at this point is run. Get him to hit the ball on the ground, and you can pretty much take it to the bank. It's going to be 2.
Well, for me, Matt Albers has been the unsung hero in that bullpen. He has had terrific movement, and Zach Putnam, up until he pulled that going, was doing a terrific job as well with that splitter of his.
Matt's got a good sinker He'll run that ball well into the right-hand hitters. His favorite pitch to them is run it in on their hands. It looks like a strike over the inside corner. By the time they start to swing, all they can do is ground it to the left side.
Wouldn't bite. Alex with 686 home runs. And last night, if you missed that, scored a run ahead of that 3-run homer by Carlos Beltran. Only 2 men. Okay, take your time, boys. There's that ground ball. And 2 out. Third double play turn by our guys. That's 153 on the season.
Nice to have strikeouts out of the bullpen, but if you can throw sinkers and throw a double play when you really need it, as Matt Albers has all year, that's invaluable. And here comes Robin. So it looks like he wants to see Beltran hitting from the right side.
But last night, only 2 men. Hank Aaron and Alex Rodriguez. 3,000 or more hits, 2,000 or more RBIs, and 2,000 runs scored. What a kind of accomplishment. 2 men in the history of the game. So Albers departs, and we'll be back.
And 2 outs. And Robin wanted to see Carlos Beltran hitting from the right side. There you look at the numbers on for the 68th time. He is our situational left-hander. 3.6 ERA, a little above 3.5. And he's been pretty good this year. Left-handers hitting under 200 against him.
Well, unfortunately, Robin saw Beltran from the right side last night.
Yeah, and he got out ahead of one and won the ball game against Chris Sale. And there's Nate Jones. We saw Nate last night. He came out for a third of an inning and got a strikeout.
Beltran 0 for 3. A fly to center, popped to short, and a grounder to short. Beltran is Going to hit over 400 home runs. Numbers won't show it.
He's had a
But I'll
terrific
tell
career.
you what, in the last 25 years, he's been one of the best talents in the game of baseball. I don't think he ever came close to touching his real upside. Did hit 41 home runs for the Mets. That was in 2006. Here's a good pitch. Had just the outside edge of the outside corner.
You just as soon get him now and let McCann lead off next inning.
All you youngsters out there, when this guy first came in, he could really do everything. As there is a make a good throw. All right. So good job by Matt Albers. Good job by Zach Duke. And we're into the 8th. Adam Warren and these Yankees. As coverage begins at 2:30 with the White Sox pregame live presented by Orland Park Toyota on CSN Chicago. Top of the 8th inning. 4-6-0 for us, 2-6-1 for them. We have 2 home runs. They have none. Those 2 home runs coming. Last inning, leadoff homer by Michael. A jolt. And with 1 out, another home run by Gordon Beckham. Just a bullet out of here. So here's Trace Thompson. He's 1 for 3 with a run scored. And just a tremendous catch. Outfield straight up, spread out, spaced about equidistant. One and one to count. Bottom of the 4th in St. Louis, tied at 1 with Milwaukee. Pirates, Clint Hurdle beat Joe Madden's Cubs 3-2. 3-7-0 for the Buccos, 2-7-0 for the Cubs. Garrett Cole 18-8 with a 2-6-0, the winner. John Lester 10-12 with a 3-4-3, the loser. Melanson with his 51st save.
St. Louis this year 54-24 at home. Doesn't get too much better than that.
Well, from what we saw, it just goes to show you how good their pitching is.
Yeah, the offense has been lagging way behind. The pitching has been outstanding.
1 out.
Sox Fest 2016 runs January 29th through the 31st at the Hilton Chicago. Score an autograph or photo with your favorite players, coaches, or White Sox greats. Play games, win prizes, and shop for White Sox gear. It'll be a weekend that you don't want to miss. Tickets are on sale now. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/SoxFest.
Here's Melky. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the second inning. Ate him up with that one.
Looks like Bailey, in an effort to try to compensate for velocity that isn't quite what it used to be, is starting to cut the ball. And he cut that one right in on Melky's hands.
Well, the Mets have a guy that, if he wants to when he's done, in my opinion, could be just a terrific pitching coach. And it's Bartolo Colon. He can work the baseball as well, if not better, than anybody we've seen in a long time.
He has one of the greatest percentage of fastballs of any pitcher, almost in any era. He just throws it. Here's a fastball, and I'll make it do a song and a dance for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And especially as many Latin pitchers as he gets in, that's 2 down. As many Latin pitchers that are coming into prominence.
James Pezos loosening in the pen.
Well, our Sox really tried hard to keep Bartolo before he went to the Angels. They came in and did the same thing with him as they did with Torrey Hunter at the last minute.
Tacked on an extra year.
Tacked on an extra year. You couldn't blame either one of them, for taking it. But we tried to get Torrey, and we tried to keep Bartolo. Ivy 1 for 3 with a run scoring single in the third, knocking in Trace. Reading something here. Bartolo put together an amazing run of consistency, throwing 38 consecutive pitches for strikes in a win over the Angels. That streak lasted from the second pitch of the 5th inning until the 7th pitch of the 8th inning. All strikes.
I don't know if they keep records for that, but you're not going to see too many people ever do that. I'm not sure how you can do it.
Pops that one up. So a 1-2-3 inning for Bailey, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Brian McCann lead it off. Brian McCann will lead it off. He's 1 for 1. He was hit by a pitch. He singled and scored. And he walked. Brian having a big year. 26 homers, 91 RBIs. Two and 0 the count. Chris Young on deck. And Greg Bird in the hole. No walks. Come back and get him, Zach. There's one.
Yankee pen up and going. Nick Rumbelow.
Close pitch, didn't get it.
The most popular way to follow the White Sox is with MLB.com at bat. At bat brings you live look-ins, highlights, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more. Download the MLB.com at bat app on your smartphone and tablet now. Here comes Don Cooper.
Leadoff walks. Eat your lunch. St. Louis now leading Milwaukee 3-1. That's in the bottom of the fourth. Texas still leading Houston 3-0. Top of the fourth down at Minute Maid. Rockies leading the Dodgers 7-1. Top of the fifth in Denver. Mets 12, Cincinnati 1 at the Great American Ballpark. Bottom of the eighth inning.
Right now, if the season were to end, it would be the Yankees in a one-and-done game against Houston. And the Yankees know they're going to run right into Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel has pitched against them twice, and he's beaten them twice. And the Yankees realize with each and every out and with each and every run Toronto scores, that one-and-done game is looming large.
Chris fouls that pitch away. He had an infield single. He also has popped up to right, and then in the fifth inning he just missed hitting one a long way out of here, just underneath it. Thank goodness. Checks it up and count evens at 1. 37,316. Okay. Fourth double play coming up. 2 down. Had one in the fourth, sixth, seventh, and now in the eighth.
Every one of them has been 6-4-3. And Gordon didn't have to rush that one. That time he had plenty of time.
Here's Greg Bird. Pops it up. He's 0 for 2. Now make it 0 for 3. And he was robbed of extra bases on a brilliant catch by Trace Thompson. Meanwhile, we're into the ninth.
Out of the pen for the 16th time. He's 1-1. His ERA 3.68. There you look at the numbers. He's had 3 different stints with the Yankees this year, so he's gone up and down like a yo-yo.
Major League debut on June 23rd. Out of LSU, one of the better, more productive college baseball programs in the country. So here we go. Alexei, RBI double, a walk, and a grounder to short. 4-6-0 for us, 2-6-1 for them, as there is ball 1. Sox trying to even up the series at a game apiece last night. As you look at David, we lost that ball game 3-2.
And David's going to be on this mound for the first time not wearing pinstripes. Jason Shreve loosening in the pen just in case.
And a souvenir right side. Ate him up. One down.
Rumbelow got that pitch all the way inside on Alexei. Broke his bat. Just as we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. And it came off the bat of Mike Olds. He hit a bomb against CC Sabathia, went down and got it, and took it way out.
And that broke a 2-2 tie.
Rumbelow made sure he couldn't hit that one.
Only one guy could have hit that pitch.
He played cricket, undoubtedly.
The big hurt, Frank Thomas.
And one guy who has just passed away, Yogi Berra.
Yogi. 2 down. Yogi could hit it from the tip of his nose to the tip of his toes.
There's a look at number 8. They had a beautiful ceremony last night, culminating with a number 8 brought out by all of the Yankee catchers and former catchers. Joe Girardi. They put it right behind the plate, and they gave him his moment of silence.
And now we got to celebrate it.
And
Yogi says no more crying.
Do you believe, as a player, manager, and a coach, he was in 21 World Series? 21. That's astonishing.
Yeah, 10
wins by himself as a player. Yeah.
18-time All-Star, 3-time MVP.
Wow. And there's a look at Joe Girardi, former catcher. 3 current Yankee catchers as they place the 8 behind the plate.
You know, I was thinking when I went back to my room, I was watching a little piece on Yogi. And I was thinking about that famous shot that we all saw when Jackie Robinson stole home.
Yogi
went crazy.
Always said that he was out. He never said I missed him or I didn't get him.
And I was thinking about 2 of the best days I've ever had on a golf course. One with Jackie Robinson and one with Yogi Berra. And neither time did we ever talk about baseball. It was all about golf and all about this and all about that. Yogi couldn't play a lick, but he had fun.
No, but he had to have a great short game because he was close to the ball.
He had no game. One of the worst putters you ever want to see. Hit it right-handed. I mean left-handed. Putted right-handed. Every time he'd miss, I told you, every time he missed like a 2-footer, he'd look at you and just smile.
Wasn't his game.
No. Baseball was. Payoff pitch. Boy, that Yankee Dodger rivalry, probably second only to, in history of the game, second to Dodgers and Giants.
Well, with all 3 playing in the same city for as long as they played in the same city, and the arguments about who was the greatest center fielder, it was an amazing time to be here.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Tyler. Goes down and gets it, so he's now 1 for 3.
Three-2 fastball right over the middle of the plate, and he just short strokes it into right field. He was in full defensive mode, stayed alive, and kept the Sox at bat alive. Here's one of the home run hitters, Gordon Beckham.
Can't get that one. Gordon cranked out his 6th one. He's now got 20 RBIs, and it was a shot. And if you missed it, poof. That short, quick swing. I short-armed it, kept the bat in front of him. Two balls and a strike. That did have the zone. Go 2-2. That ball hit hard. Get down. It will. Mike Mazza and crew. Tony Sheridan and crew. Mike Spadali and crew. Your pick to click.
Here comes Joe Girardi, and that's going to knock Rumpelo from the game. Joe's going to go to the pen. And undoubtedly he wants a left-hander, so I would assume that Shreve is coming in. And as he does, we'll step out and be back after these messages. To the pen, and Joe Girardi is called on the left-hander, Chasen Shreve. Out for the 57th time. He's 6-2. His ERA 2.65. Been pretty impressive. Almost 10 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Well, the Yankee relievers only need 5 strikeouts to tie an American League single season record for most strikeouts by a bullpen, and that was the 2014 Yankees at 571. So here's Adam Eaton with 2 on 2 out. Adam 3 for 4 last night, 0 for 4 tonight. Also, the Yankees only 3 wins away from 10,000 in their franchise history.
Chris Martin throwing in the pen. If Shreve doesn't get Eaton, Martin's going to get a Brave, or at least go after him.
Four 2 Sox here in game 2 of this 4-game set, top of the 9th inning. And the count 2-0. I mentioned 37,316 and tonight, and 35,132 last evening. They're averaging 40,018. That had just part of the corner, didn't get it, and the count 3-0. There's one. That's the final from Canada. Toronto beats Tampa Bay 5-3. Josh Donaldson, his 40th. Kevin Pillar is 12th. Bautista is 37th. Donaldson 121 RBIs now. Full count. They've got 3 guys with over 100 RBIs. Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion.
What an offense.
Well, Russell Martin's having himself a nice, productive, driving in big runs season.
If they could get Troy Tulowitzki back, nobody might ever get them out.
Justin Smoke's driven in big runs for him. It's contagious. Everything is contagious. You play on a ball club like that, if you're in the 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th hole, you're going to hit. Those big boppers they got, they just wear a pitcher down. John Gibbons is letting them play. Sitting back and watching them, letting them play.
Pretty much
fun. That's
all you got to do is fill out the lineup and say, go get them.
Good managers don't want to manage.
Just go get them, boys.
He's a good manager. Get through. It will. Thank you very much. So here comes Tyler. Beckham into third on the single by Adam Eaton. And it's at 5-2 Sox lead.
RBI number 51 for Adam Eaton, who catches it off the end of the bat. Been a long night for him. Hasn't had the ball out the infield. And Joe Girardi comes out again. It's a 3-run game. He's going to bring in Martin to face Abreu with runners at the corners and 2 outs. So Shreve walks out. We'll step out and be back after these messages. He comes out at 0-2. ERA up close to 6. He's on for the 22nd time. Opponent hitters hitting .305, which is a pretty big number against him. 25 hits and 18 and a third, but he has saved the one game he's had the opportunity.
Two out runners at the corners, one in, 5-9-0 for us. 2-6-1 for them. Well, Chris has paid his dues while pitching his sophomore year at McLennan, Texas Community College in 05. He suffered a torn labrum. After his injury, he worked for a package shipping company and multiple appliance stores before joining the Independent League Grand Prairie in 2010. And here he is in Yankee Stadium.
You got to love those guys that go play independent baseball, get their opportunity, make the most of it, and eventually surface in the major leagues.
There goes Adam, picking up easily his 16th stolen base. 16 for 24 in that category. Well, we'll see what they're going to do. Trace Thompson on deck. That's what they're going to do. We'll put him on and get to Trace. Trace, who's 1 for 4 tonight. But he had a big contribution to this ball game.
Maybe the biggest contribution to the game.
Back in 4th inning. 2 men on and nobody out. Greg Bird at the plate. And Greg Bird just hammered this ball. This ball was tattooed. He got a tremendous jump. Look at that leaping catch.
There's no telling how big that inning would have been. As it was a 2-run inning. Ellis got out with a double play ground ball. That could turn out to be the game saver.
Certainly in the psyche of the game. It is. He also singled and scored back in the 3rd. Takes it up, takes a strike. There's a shot caught. But we come up with one. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, leading 5-2.
He's going to try to nail down save number 32. For the 57th time. This is his 39th opportunity at a save. 3.34 ERA in his first time pitching in Yankee Stadium as an opponent. And Tyler Saladino comes in the game defensively at third. So David's got 3 runs to work with to cement the 9th win of the year for Carlos Rodon. So Gordon Beckham, one of the heroes tonight, as he hit a home run, making it 4-2. Later, Sox made it 5-2, and that makes it a whole lot easier for the closer coming in.
So here's Ellsbury. Ellsbury 0 for 3 last night.
Joe Girardi was hoping to use Ellsbury in a more critical situation, but he's found that he's got to lead him off.
He needs base runners.
Yes, he does.
That evens the count at 1.
That didn't feel too good as he fouled a breaking ball off his foot.
Just got a piece of it.
Ellsbury's only had 3 pinch hitting opportunities this year. He's 1 for 3.
Got in on him. Can of corn. 1 out of the big out. So here's Gregorius. Didi had that 2-run single back in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. He also has gone out to right and walked. Boy, you're talking about good arms at shortstop. Gregorius, you got the Lindor and Cleveland, you got Correa at Houston. I mean, all, on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Can really throw.
Well, I think the day and age where the David Eckstein shortstops, the guys who get it over there just in time, those guys are not making it to the major leagues these days because the guys ahead of them can all really throw.
He gone. 2 down. There's Brett Gardner. Brett struck out, was hit by a pitch, hit pretty good in the arm. If you're just tuning in, Carlos Rodon did not have as good control tonight. All he did was go out there and go 6 innings and give up just 2 runs. That's what you want to see from the young budding star that you got.
Yeah, this is a night where he just battled and battled, and he had a very good first inning. And then all of a sudden, a walk and a hit batsman in the second inning, but he got out of it. Didn't give up his first hit till McCann and his broken bat hit to lead off the fourth. Got out of there without any more damage than the 2 runs he gave up, and that was it.
Yeah, when he's got his good stuff and decent control, he's going to beat you. It's when you go out there and you don't have it, like he didn't. You still got to think that finger might have been bothering him. A couple of pitches. There's a breaking ball strike, slipping out of the hand the way they did.
Yeah, I would think so, because that's really unusual for any pitcher. I mean, you can see one, but 2 of them slipping out of his hand that far, you'd have to figure that finger wasn't 100%, but he's not going to make any excuses. He went out there and gave him exactly what he needed.
He just ate him up right there. Once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow afternoon. That's a 3:05 start. Johnny Danks against Adam Warren, and that game will be over Comcast Sportsnet right back here. Tried to backdoor him. Field and foul. Thank you very much. That was just a roller. Good pitch to hit. And the 2-2 delivery. Good checkup right there by Gardner. No walks. Make him hit his way on. When this ball comes down, this ball game will be over. So the Sox even up this series at a game apiece, put a big hurt on the Yankees with this win. And Carlos Rodon, what a nice effort by him.
He was terrific tonight. Didn't have his great stuff, but really battled through 6 innings, gave up